teachers, and my dear friends. Good afternoon, everyone present here. Today, I stand before you to present on the book review of The Wonderful Wizard of the Oz. The book is written by Leonard Frank Baum, is an American author who was born on May 15, 1856. He aimed to write stories that please children, focusing imagination and creativity. He passed away on May 6, 1990. The Wizard of the Oz is a classic fantasy novel. The book contains a very inspiring message and entertains us. Dorothy is the central character and is a girl from Kansas who got separated from her homeland in a tornado. The other characters of the book are Scarecrow, Tin Woodman, Courtly Lion, the Wizard of the Oz, Glinda the Good Witch, and the Wicked Witch of the West. Dorothy finds Oz, meeting new friends like Scarecrow, Tin Woodman, and Courtly Lion. Together, they face obstacles and challenges. Ultimately, she describes the power of friendship and discovers her way home. Imaginary characters are beloved characters that inspire and entertain us. The magical land of Oz, memorable characters inspire and entertain us. The book is really interesting, and to know more about the book, please do read it by yourself. Thank you.
Hello there, I am Matilda, the girl who changed many lives. You see, I have a brilliant power, and in my story, I discover my true voice, discover my powers, and the life I never thought I had. I was a bit differently abled, and you might be wondering, what's so special about a little girl like me? Because I don't think special is the right word used to describe myself. Instead, I always knew I was differently able than other children. While other toddlers were learning how to talk, I could phrase out full sentences in easy flow. And by the time I was 4, I had read every single book in our local library, which was almost impossible to do. And that is the main things that makes me or myself. You see, books were my escapes from the world to other worlds, other places, and where children are not scolded or ignored, where they were gone ahead and understood and properly loved. You see, things were not so ideal at home. My father was a crook who go ahead and sold old cars. That means a terrible car salesman. My mother spent more time worrying about her hair dye and bingo scores rather than me. And she barely noticed where I was. And then I hoped things would be a bit better. And I knew I had to rely on myself. I was never angry. And usually this happens really often. So I went ahead and got used to it. But I used to balance the scales by going ahead and doing a few pranks. Well, maybe like blowing a hat of my father's or destroying their paintings by accident and putting a parrot in a chimney, making sure it acted like a ghost. Well, that didn't come from me, just inspirations. And the expectation which I was waiting for was usually from school. I hoped it would be far better. And it was, at first. That's when I met Miss Honey. She was unlike any adult that I'd ever met. She was soft-spoken, kind, and really saw me for who I was. And she understood that I could go ahead and read faster and do harder math problems unlike the whole class. And she said I was gifted. I liked that specific word. It made me me feel much better. But every story has a villain, doesn't it? Mine is Mrs. Trunchbull, our headmistress. She's not like your average mean teacher. She was a former camera thrower Olympian who thought children were revolting little goblins and hated them. She hated especially me. If you went ahead and talked out of flow or turned during the assembly or didn't tuck in your shirt properly, you would probably find yourself inside the choking. It is something like a narrow, tall cupboard filled with glass and nails and sharp materials. And it could pierce through you and even cause thousands of wounds. I'm not joking, it's certainly true. And something changed me all of a sudden. One day, I was trying not to think of how foolish and horrifying my father's dinner conversation was, when suddenly I realized I could go ahead and have and do something so impossible that you thought it was some kind of lie. It is something strange for a person like me to do. I could move things with my mind. I could make chalks float. I could go ahead and tip a glass over without even touching it. Impressive, you might think. And I wasn't using that to become a superhero or take revenge. Instead, I wanted justice for people like me, for children like me who suffer day and night with parents like mine. And it's wrong with family. And of course, we have our generation's arrogance, but not me. And so, I use that in a simple way. A yet brilliant and sneaky plan to go ahead and drive out our headmistress. You see, she was always going ahead and disturbing Miss Honey. They were related by blood, and she had destroyed Miss Honey's life, taken away her property, and made sure that she'd never arise for who she was. And I would never let that continue, because she was very close to me and my heart. So I made sure that that would never happen again. And the brilliant plan begins. It was using a chalk on a board and acting like if I were a ghost and writing down a few things. And the plan worked. It was kind of joyous to watch, but frustrating, because focusing on something to write on the board, it was tiring. And for 2 days, it passed like something. Miss Rumble eventually got scared and ran away. Miss Honey got her home and freedom back. And I finally found the place where I truly belonged, instead of the horrifying prison, which I know as school and home. You see, my parents were planning to flee from the country because my father's dodgy business had caught up with him, and they were going to get caught soon. But surely, they were having a plan. But I never wanted to go with them. Instead, at the moment, Miss Honey went ahead and asked my parents if she wanted to take me in, and they barely cared. But for the moment, it made me so happy because never in my life anyone had said, I want you and you could stay with me. It was a memorable moment and I didn't have to think about it. This is my story and it did happen. It is not about magical powers, but the real magic of using your mind to get justice and freedom. And you might think this book is just imaginary. No, it is for the children who are silenced by some people and they are asked to lie even if they know the truth and want to let out their whole sadness. This story is about for readers who feel invisible, for children who feel trapped, and for people who think they too might have an amazing magical power inside them. So, with curiosity and occasional floating teardrops, this is Matilda signing off. Thank you.